Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Hi, everybody. First off, can you hear me? Yeah, you should be able to hear me, according to my settings. Good morning, and welcome to Church Has Glasses, where, today it's all about Lego, but not the conventional kind. I have a couple sets here that will hopefully round out the morning, but I have a different plan. As some of you may or may not remember, I have myself a Lego-compatible keyboard that I have put tons of Lego stuff on, but I have received more Lego tiles that I want to replace it with, so that's what I'm going to be doing for probably most of the morning. It's not just a simple replace job. I'm going to have to design something with the bricks that are present, so I'm very excited about that. And I also have a couple really easy sets that I'll probably do in a couple of minutes, but you know, it's always fun to keep fresh with your Lego skills, as I'm sure you all know. You know, even if you don't have a big Lego set to do. Did you finally get the other bricks you ordered? I did. The lovely people at Citizen Brick, they did get me the bricks that I wanted. And, you know, they're solid people, because technically they gave me something on accident that was way more expensive than what I wanted. And by way more, I mean like $5 more. But it's still, they're a small business, you know, and I'm sure reviews and little mistakes can kill them in the long run. So I didn't even want justice, like a Karen, about it. You know what I'm talking about? I wasn't up in arms, upset about not receiving the right Legos. I was more like, hey man, just let you know this happened, and I do want those Legos that I wanted. Because I enjoy the Legos, guys. As you could probably tell, I bought custom printed ones. And you'll see the level of custom printed Lego I got, which I was very excited to do. I was very excited to do what I'm going to do this morning, and I saved it this morning for you, all you lovely people. If I'm a little, slow, because I went to a birthday party yesterday, and I went a little late. As us adults tend to do with their birthday parties. They have a couple adult beverages. They stay late. They watch the Back to the Future trilogy in the background of the party. They talk about how old they feel and their current ailments. And, boring adult shit. And that's what I did until the late evening. But I was very excited to get here today, because I'll be honest, this is not even a joke. This is not hyperbole. This is not lies. I was waiting for these, which you'll see much closer in a second. I was waiting for these for so long. When I finally got them 2 days ago, I wanted to get to what I'm about to do this morning right away. But I also wanted to have something a little different for Church Has Glasses, because we've been in Ghost of Tsushima for a long time. Because I don't play that game straight story all the way through. I gotta get all the nooks and crannies of that island. I can't just accept, story beats on Ghost of Tsushima. No, I want 100% clear on Ghost of Tsushima. So I just opened up the Discord. Did you and Rigsby kiss again? Did Rigsby sexually assault me at this party, Squirtle? Did Rigsby try to violate the personal space that is my mouth and face? Well, you're just gonna have to ask Rigsby. Because apparently Rigsby is the master of my face domain and not I. I think it was just a cheeker, if I remember correctly. Look, the man's like, he's, I'm gonna say resilient. That's not the right word. He's relentless. When Rigsby wants your lips, he doesn't take no for an answer. Your face has got to be public domain by now by how much you broadcast. Not for kissing, Felix. Streaming is not consent, Felix. Okay? Okay, dude. By the way, good morning, Felix. I don't know if that's how public domain works. And also, I don't think public domain works on physical beings. I'll leave that out there. I don't think public domain law can refer to a living, breathing human being as I am. That's just my guess. I know folks acted like it, like at the release of sex tapes and at the sight of like cosplay. They're just like, oh, I can do whatever I want to you. Like, hey man, those are human beings you're talking to. Those are people with thoughts and feelings and boundaries and decisions that they want to make in life. Was I going to bring up anything? Usually I have something to talk about. I try to use this fake digital pulpit to, you know, maybe... Okay, that's not on my green screen. Something really distracted me. I usually like to use this time to do like a impromptu sermon, but I don't really got anything. I could give my 2 cents on this Hogwarts Legacy thing, which has blown up TikTok and gotten a lot of people pissed off. And also, I guess I should announce that I don't plan to play Hogwarts Legacy on the stream. Mostly because I didn't want to buy it full price. But also, and this is not looking down on anybody. I just thought that, like, I thought we got over the Harry Potter thing. Like, I thought, and no offense if you're all still in it, brother, if you still got the robes and the wands and the whatnot. Like, I thought we all kind of grew past it. Like, and not even the, not to downplay it, but not even the anti-trans sentiments of the creator. Just kind of like, okay, well, you know, I watched the movies and I read the books and I got into the lore a little bit, but, you know, it's time to put that to bed. I guess I did the same kind of thing with Star Wars. It's like, oh, it's time to put that to bed. There's other lore. There's other things we can invest ourselves in. And then, yeah, but why are the Jewish stereotype goblins the bad guys? It really does feel like, because looking back on those films, there's a lot of shit about it that are questionable / not wrong. There's a lot of questionable shit about Harry Potter. And I think there was always kind of this thought that was like, oh, it's her critique of society, how society views each other and how society moves forward and whatever. But then just seeing her comments about trans people. It's like, okay, well, you know, she could be completely tone deaf to an understanding of something. Okay, that's fine. Based on her own personal experience. Okay, that's fine. You can write a book where a person is destroyed because of their opinions on trans people, and in a very meta, transparent way. Sure, you could do that. Whatever, JK, that's fine. I'm just kind of shocked I haven't consumed anything HP related since the first Fantastic Beasts movie. And even then, I hadn't been into it for a while, but I still got that nostalgia for it. Transparent. That's why she hated that book. It was too transparent. But what then happened was, like, I think, and I could be wrong, and this isn't my opinion of everybody. I really didn't like the first Fantastic Beasts movie. I didn't like anything Harry Potter related past the last Harry Potter movie, and I firmly believe that Warner Brothers needs to pull a George Lucas on J.K. Rowling and go, hey, so you just want to, like, sell it to us and then make money sitting on your ass not having any say? Because everybody will immediately drop it if they don't think that she's at the head of it. They'll be like, yeah, whatever, now I'm going to buy my wand and my butterbeer. And she'll still make money because that's how, like, intellectual property works. I mean, from what I know, she's not involved in Hogwarts Legacy at all, so maybe they're headed that way. Well, because reading the Harry Potter books after watching them, because I watched them for a short-lived podcast with homies. Having no say, which actually would cause her to combust. I'm thinking of buying for it, for the nostalgia. You never made it past Goblet of Fire, aka Goblet of Shags, because every dude has a shag haircut in that movie, except for like one. Every important character has a shag haircut. They're just like, shag it up. No, it really felt like after this reaction to J.K. Rowling herself, it then became, okay, well, no one wants to give her money, because if we give her money, then it's going to be spent towards anti-trans legislation, because it's already been discovered that she was doing that, and she's a very rich person, thanks to everybody's fandom. But the logic of that is flawed if you buy literally anything. Everything we buy, unless it's from small businesses that you know the personal politics of the people there, like, you're already screwed. The machine of capitalism has made the people who earn the real money faceless. And those are probably horrible people. Most of them. J.K. Rowling just has the benefit of saying out loud the quiet parts that most CEOs and creators say. And I think the video game was just high profile because it looks like it might be dope, so it's gonna make a lot of money, because the games industry can make a whole lot of money, and people don't want her to get a lot of that money that funneled to her. So they're coming at the game itself, and then they're coming at all the little holes you can poke in the story. But for me, in my personal opinion, I feel like Percy Jackson is slightly better than Harry Potter. Never read Percy Jackson. Yeah, like 80% of the entertainment stuff you buy is probably created by somebody you disagree with to some degree. Well, I was thinking about the comments from Zachary Levi today, the gentleman who plays Shazam. I remember very specifically watching that movie Shazam recently. I watched it before Black Adam, because I hate myself, apparently. And I remember watching Shazam, and I was like, you know what? This is a fun movie. This is a fun romp. Like, DC, they made one that just was, like, right down the middle, simple, easy to follow, easy to watch, fun, funny shit. And then the guy who plays Zachary Levi, like, said some shit on Twitter, and then people started bringing up his Joe Rogan appearances. And you're like, oh yeah, like, you can fundamentally disagree with someone. Right? Shazam was nice. Shazam was like... Honestly, it felt like Shazam was the movie DC needed to make. Shazam was the movie DC needed to make early, but they waited until they made a bunch of shit that didn't hit right. It hit different, but it didn't hit right to make a movie franchise or a movie universe. Yeah, Zachary Levi, like there's now a TikTok rabbit hole because they jump on the controversy gets views, and then they all talk about it. And apparently that dude is, you know, he's very into Jesus and very anti-science. And you know what? That is his right, but like, he was paid to be that character in Shazam, and he did a pretty damn good job. And despite his, you know, his opinions on things I don't agree with, he didn't pull a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and was like, look, people want to see me now. So whenever you want to schedule that fight with Superman, I'll be in my trailer drinking my tequila. So, you know, get on that, because I am who I am. He didn't pull that shit. He was like, I'm just excited to be a part of the ride. And I felt like that's the attitude these people, actors should take. It's like, hey, you know, it's a job. The job is very successful. That benefits me. It benefits everybody. Let's keep going. But what do I know? I don't know anything about the industry. But this Hogwarts thing... The reason I think people are so anti-Hogwarts Legacy is because it has the potential to make that money. Like, make that money. And a little bit, probably a decent amount, might go to J.K. Rowling's estate or whatever. But so does money earned at Universal. So does... I imagine a little bit of money towards any watch of the Harry Potter movies on HBO. I mean, definitely if you buy the books. Definitely if you buy the merch. But they're not coming down on those people as hard as this game. And I think it's just because the game is it's all about optics. Like, people standing in front of Hogsmeade and Hogwarts at Universal Studios and then like linking up, that doesn't look as good because you're ruining people's day. Like that like you're making children cry and families who paid a lot of money to get their kids into that park. You're making them upset. But buying a game, you're just making gamers upset, which will then make them make a reaction video, which then you can react to their reaction. People can give bad takes, and it's just this never-ending cycle when it's like, guys, it's a fucking video game made by people that have nothing to do with her, and yes, she'll make money on it. She's already making money. She's making tons of money. This game she doesn't need this game to make more money on your nostalgia and your love for Harry Potter. Universal's all right. Universal, Squirtle, if you're ever interested in going to Universal, here's my pitch. If you're into Halloween shit, you wait for a Universal Halloween Horror Nights that has themes you're interested in, right? Like, if you're interested in a horror movie that they're doing a maze on, or if they bring back the Stranger Things and you're into Stranger Things, you can get a ticket for Universal where it's an all-day ticket that then bleeds into the night when the Halloween stuff starts. That's the best thing, because Universal has a lot of stuff, but it really is like, it's a one-day park. And if you plan it right, you can do everything that that place has to offer in a day. But if you do the Universal Universal Horror Nights, you do the good stuff during the day, and then as it bleeds into the night Halloween stuff, you transition into some new things that are also fun, and then you get everything you want out of a Universal trip. That's my take. I found a clip of Pete Davidson saying the same thing about R. Kelly. Oh, whoops. I don't know what you said. R. Kelly pedophile stuff? I wanted to go to the Walking Dead one, but I got sick that year. Yeah, I didn't do the Walking Dead one. The Stranger Things one was alright. It was a high production value, but not a lot of scares, which is fine. But yeah, they do some good stuff for Halloween up there. The R. Kelly thing, it's like... when it comes to musicians and bands, one of my favorite bands of all time, it turns out the songwriter and singer was, engaging in pedophilic activities for a long-ass time, and I can't really listen to it anymore. I miss it a lot, but I also noticed a continuous theme with his writing. It was a lot about shame and a lot about inward introspection about all the wrong you've done. And I remember using that with my religious guilt to really, add jet fuel to that depression. And then after it turns out, oh, he's actually a pedophile, you're like, oh, no wonder you wrote songs like that. You're a literal monster. Like... you're a literal piece of shit. That's why you wrote songs like that. I was feeling bad about myself and really getting into it. You were an actual asshole. And you were writing about how eventually you're going to be caught and you're never going to be forgiven because you are a piece of shit. And then his apology. I always judge people who get into controversies by their apology. And if someone is accused and basically proven to be a monster, if they apologize to their fans and their wife and that's it, they don't mention what they did, that was written by a lawyer and they're pieces of shit. I strictly want to go on the Universal, just go on the Mummy ride. Hell yeah, dude. Ride it twice. It'll take 20 seconds. Mummy ride is dope, but that thing is quick. That is, you're on and you're off. But it is a fast, fun time. Fast, fun time. Going back to the Harry Potter thing, I always said and thought, especially after reading the Harry Potter books, I was like, okay, so you've created a pretty good story. I wouldn't even say it's the best. You've created a pretty good story about this kid and about the things he went through and the story of him growing up and this prophecy and all that shit. And a lot of his family members die and friends. So you made that, but you've also created a world that people want to be in. They want to be a part of. Because there's a lot of people, like myself, I was a proud Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff till I die. Hufflepuff for life. Dig it. And I always thought of myself... people say Harry Potter is just Star Wars in a different font. It kind of is. But... and kind of like Star Wars, very much like Star Wars, you've created a world people want to sink into. They don't exactly want stories about heroes and villains. They want stories about this place. They want stories about this society. They want stories about how magic works, especially when it's right up against reality as we understand it. Fuck yeah, Hufflepuff for life, dude. That's right. Integrity, honesty, hard work, Hufflepuff, motherfuckers. But the thing that I was thinking, like, right up until that last movie came out, and then Warner Brothers is like, well, the Harry Potter world isn't done yet. I was like, okay, why don't you do kind of like the Marvel model, but there's no continuous story amongst them? But all these people who are jazzed up, who just love the Harry Potter story, they have ideas for stories in that world. Give them the reins. Give them the pen. Let JK have, like, final yes or no on what to go forward with. But explore different parts of this shit. Like, I thought the Fantastic Beasts decision, like, let's go to America, and they do everything different. I was like, that seems like a terrible idea. Because people in America love the way it is in your books. Like, they don't want a difference between how magic works. It makes sense that America would press magic and be more serious and aggressive against magic. That makes perfect sense. However, changing the names of shit is just, like, frustrating. And I already gave my pitch for what I thought was a great idea. It's never going to happen now. Because J.K. Rowling is just going to hold on to the rights until she dies. I thought I was going to make Ravenclaw, but I got Hufflepuff. It makes sense. My pitch was, you make a show about Aurors, dude. You make a show about the police officers in the wizarding world. Make it like your Law and Orders or your NYPD Blues, your cop dramas, but it's about dealing with magic crime. Because how dope would that be to have two people show up to a scene of a crime? It's like, it'd be like Men in Black meets Harry Potter. Like, folks show up to a crime, they look a little different than the regular police officers. They say they have jurisdiction. The police officers leave, and then they pull out their wands. That's not a euphemism. They pull out their wands and they start checking shit. And then they find out, oh shit, it was a magical person who did this crime. We're gonna have to hit the streets, gonna start investigating. It just turns into this fun thing. And then they have to, interview people in the magic world, and it would be such a cool show. Because no offense to Harry Potter, like, and it was framed this way so that people could be introduced to the world, which it does very well. Harry is a character that didn't know anything about magic. He didn't grow up with it, so everything is new to him, and it's new to the audience. But this would be great because it's it is a chance to live in that world and show them stuff, but through the eyes of adults doing adult shit. I think the issue is that her magic system will have to be made much harder than it currently is, but it would be dope as hell. Yeah, for sure. And if you set it in America, you then have the extra layer of, like, nobody can find out about this. Like, we'll get straight murdered by the people in this society if they find out that we are witches and wizards. Yeah, that's Harry Potter, man. I don't know. I had no desire to play it. Like, I saw that it was coming out, and I was like, oh, that might be dope. I mean, if I catch it on, like, a crazy sale, and I somehow find the time to play through that or get it for stream, but I don't think I'm gonna. And then all the controversy hit, and I'm like, okay, so where were you fuckers when they released the new Hagrid ride out at Universal? I don't know if it was out that she was that much of it, but why aren't you barricading Hogsmeade and Hogwarts at Universal? Why aren't you boycotting HBO Max? It's like, I don't understand why you're not up in arms about all that. And I think it's an easy target, you know? There's easy targets, and makes them feel better to hit them. And it's like, congratulations, you hit the easy target. What now? And that's just where we are. That's just where we are. Hit the easy target, we hear the bell, and then we celebrate. And then we hand a stuffed bear to our children. Am I losing the metaphor? It seems like I'm losing the metaphor. Anyways. That was a solid 30 minutes. 30 minutes on Hogwarts. Should I get to the business? I think I should get to the business. Now, did you know Peter Pan flies because he never lands? Because that's content we currently have, and we refuse to be hypocrites. He does land. He also lands in that woman's room without her consent. She doesn't even know who he is. Cancel Peter Pan. It is inappropriate. Oh, good. Oh, great. Fantastic. This is wonderful. So excuse me while I make adjustments, because I have a preview of the screen that I want to show, and it looks like trash right now, so... They're both underage, so it's not creepy. Huh. That fixed itself surprisingly quickly. Okay, cool. Cancel Peter Pan and justice for Remy. Hells yeah. Yeah, like, I have the Harry Potter books, right? Hardcovers, like standard edition. I don't know the difference. I have them. Like, I'm not gonna get rid of them. Mostly because I think my brother mentioned he wanted to read them, and it's like, well, I mean, I can loan those out to you. I don't mind. But it's like, they already got the money. They already got the money, and they were purchased so long ago. Like, what does it matter? What other Harry Potter shit do I have? like, it's I don't know, man. Doesn't matter. I would say that justice for Remy is higher up on the scale for justice than cancel Peter Pan. Because Peter Pan, you know, to quote some of my Republican or conservative colleagues, you know, he has his whole life ahead of him. He made a mistake. He made a mistake, man. He made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Spent too much money on the book set to get rid of them. Stephen Fry read him? Oh, damn. Yeah, it's... I am here to watch Legos. Well, Clip Clap, good morning. We're gonna get to that right now. Oh, gosh. And he comes in immediately and he's like, hydrate. He shows up. He doesn't even say good morning. Just says what he's here for, almost demanding it. You're coming in hot, dude. You're coming in hot. Gotta adjust the... Sorry, I'm adjusting the desk so I can get my chair arm underneath it. Don't bump it too much. Cheers to you, Clip Clap. Alright, so let's get into it. Why not? We're here. Let's see how it looks. Alright, can you see? Can you see? Not the best, but the desk is really shiny, and so are all the pieces. Might get groceries soon. You've been craving milk and pizza Lunchables. Well, you know, I mean, that's, you know, your right as an American to crave. Anyway, so this is the, what are they called? I think it's called MelGeek. Oh, shit. Of course. Probably turn it off. Yep. And turn it off. Okay. So this guy is the MelGeek Pixel keyboard, and it is Lego compatible, as you may or may not be able to tell. Every inch of this thing can be replaced with Lego pieces. I already put some kind of cheeky thing there. I don't know if you can see it without... There's a little outlet next to the plug, and then a little light switch next to the switch, because, you know, we like to have fun here. So the plan was to go over the story that I know. Oh, and then these two are sets that we might get to today. Dom's Charger from Fast and the Furious, but the smaller version for 8+, which last time I checked, I'm over the age of 8. And then the 007 Aston Martin, also for over the age of 8, which last time I checked, I am over that age as well. All right, so God, I hope it's not a bouncy day. It might be. Apologies to any throwing up you might feel you have to do. So, my plan with this keyboard was to buy Citizen Brick tiles. All of these to the side. All these street signs and random signs and whatnot. Money. Welcome mat. Ouija board. Canadian flag. All of these I purchased with the rust tiles. And what I wanted to do was rust out this thing and then put random signs all over it and have that kind of aesthetic. When all of these showed up, I didn't get the rust. I got the control room, which is all these pieces right here. Which, might as well take them off now. And the control room is pretty dope, but it's not, you know... It's not what I need, because this is a flat surface. We don't need control room, we need tiles. So just for funsies, I took all the signs and put them on one side. I took all of... if you don't know what this is the carpet design from The Shining, starring Jack Nicholson. Because I bought this from Citizen Brick a little while ago to put underneath a Shining pop figure that I have. And I was like, well, I'll just put half that on here so it's not empty. And then realized, oh, sheet, that doesn't even cover the entire outside of the keyboard. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to get rust for sure. Maybe 2 packs of it. Or we get a little bit of this cobblestone. We cobblestone the bottom, making it like the floor, then rust up. The carpet is clearly a metaphor for genocide of the Native Americans. I see that you have watched Room 237, Felix. a wonderful film about what happens when you analyze film too much. Yeah. And this is also basically a giant ad, unintentionally, but fully acceptable, for Citizen Brick, a company that straight up kills it when it comes to custom printed Lego bricks, like these control room pieces. Also got to remember no, Citizen Brick is a separate company that is not endorsed by the Lego company at all. Essentially, Citizen Brick is one of many small businesses. Not to say that they're not special, because I think I've bought more Citizen Brick shit than anywhere else. But they're folks that have realized that Lego is not going to produce Lego pieces that adults really, really want. Like Lego, they and Squirtle, you provide a great point. It is bullshit that Lego still puts stickers on their sets, considering this entire company is just buying Lego sets and printing cool shit on them. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove all the carpets. So they don't have legal issues with professionally printing on Lego bricks? No. They do have a legal statement that said they are not affiliated with Lego. I think they officially sell Lego-compatible printed bricks. I think that's what you have to do. Same thing with this keyboard. You have to mention that it's like, oh, it's not officially licensed Lego. Not at all. It is Lego-compatible bricks, even though if you look at these things, you're like, oh, so they just bought Lego bricks and printed on them. Which I guess isn't against the law. And I think the way Lego sees it, it's like they're buying our bricks anyway. And since this is a thinly veiled ad for Citizen Brick, it's also cool to mention that occasionally they have drops of custom-made minifigures. Right now, I think up on their website, just really, really, really quickly. Let me see if I can. Nope. If you go to their website, yeah, they're selling semi-nude Legos. They have a Vietnam era character, but right now they're selling Boy Scout, metal guitarist, a bass player, girl from The Exorcist. They can't legally say what they are, but clearly this looks like Ripley from Alien, Rambo, Walter White, a guy with dicks drawn on him, Rose and Jack from Titanic, and then comes with a door. The guys from Reservoir Dogs. Yeah. It's all good fun over at Citizen Brick. But the thing I bought from them, I mean, I feel like they figured it out somehow because they've been around for a while, and the thing I bought from them that I was so excited for was they sold a pack that was all the Lebowski characters as minifigures. Not all of them, 5 of them, but it was dope, and I was immediately okay with purchasing them. All right, so we got the carpet. Got the carpet in the bag. Okay. So next up, well, one thing we're definitely going to do, we're going to put the welcome mat in the center of the keyboard at the bottom. That was decided once I got these. But we need to take off all the signs. We have a clean surface. Yeah. There's another site. There's another website called Build Better Bricks. And they have some dope custom stuff too. But they do something where, because as you can see from the way Citizen Brick packages, they'll give you a pack of tiles. Like, oh, a pack of cobblestone, a pack of rust. At Build Better Bricks, they sell one tile at a time. Kind of like these. These are all sold one at a time, but they're all custom, like, signs and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Oh no. And also remember, everybody, to use your officially licensed Lego brick separator for life easy. Perfect if you don't have any fingernails. And of all these, like, these little one-off ones, they have a ton. They have a ton more that were just not really my style. Like, one of them was a, because this one, which is really small, I don't even know if I can. It's a little cell phone with a cracked screen. Yeah, they're dope. I haven't been, like, they did make that one mistake, which I'm not, like, super upset about. But, like, I've never been upset with anything I got from Citizen Brick. Alright. Have all of these off. Any? Okay. So, we also have these. I feel like countless fingernails have been uprooted by Legos over the decades. That's why I beat him to it by chewing mine off. I'm thinking ahead. Alright, well, no! Alright. So. Also, made in Chicago. They're proud Chicagoans. Is the keyboard smooth? No, no, no. I mean, this thing is filled all Lego compatible, and I think I mentioned before, I could, in theory, do all of the keys as well. I don't do that because I'm always... I have the anxiety that the second I pull up some caps, I'm going to forget what's underneath and then look like an idiot when I type. Even though no one watches me type, really. The point is, I'm not going to change out the caps. I'm not going to change out the caps. Alright, so we're going to do cobblestone first. We're going to cobble up. We're going to cobble up the bottom. And I'm just hoping I might have to include... Might have to include some of the shining carpet. Don't realize there's not enough tiles here, but we'll have to find out. Cobblestone it up, making sure that it's not going the same way. Oh wow, it connects. Dope. Well, I guess it's gonna have to be the same pattern. Whatever, I'll be fine with it. Yeah, one thing that I realized about myself way too late in life, I think, and this is a big I think here, not diagnosing myself with anything. I think that I'm actually sensitive to caffeine. And every time, because I drink caffeine every day. I used to drink Cokes basically religiously. I drank Cokes with every meal. I switched to coffee in my adulthood pretty quickly. But something that I kind of realized about myself is I kind of always have this underlying anxiety. So then I started to think maybe I have a caffeine maybe I have a caffeine sensitivity, and I've been chewing my nails off and tapping all the time because my body is literally in overdrive because I put it there. And that is why I'm like never comfortable just sitting still, and I keep chewing my nails even if nothing is going on. When most people only do it, like you mentioned Squirtle, when they're stressed or worried about something, it's like I just do it all the time. All the damn time. But because I have already had caffeine every morning for years, if I don't have it, then I'll just get a really bad headache. Ba-da-boo-boo-boo. Chemical dependence. It's a bitch. Remember, kids, chemical dependence is only not okay if we don't approve of the drug. If the drug makes you more efficient to do your work, by all means, do it every morning. But if the drug makes you question things, gonna throw you in prison. Something I do all the time is bounce my leg. Yep. Yep, I do the same thing, Squirtle. That's why my interest in Lego again was like kind of like a godsend. Alcohol makes you question things. But those are small questions, Felix. Those are small questions. Anyway. Here. I hyperfixate on things, so that's why I enjoy Legos and sometimes randomly take apart stuff and put it together. Well, I was gonna say Legos were a godsend to me because a Lego set, this is a different situation. This is gonna drive me slightly crazy, but I'll be fine. But like a Lego set where you have to sit down and follow the instructions and work it out. It puts me at an ease that is like amazing. An ease that is exactly what I need in a time of just constant noise and anger and aggression. Boom, baby. Lego sets, like the ones we might be building later, like they just take the mind away from all the shit that builds up and then makes you feel a little crazy. You're ruining my zen, fly. Cobblestone on the bottom. I don't think it's going to be enough. I'll be honest, I do not think it's going to be enough. Let's do... do a line of the... more space. Doesn't really match up. Bummer. Now your keyboard is in the middle of a courtyard. Felix, we're not done yet. Those little finger lights, I would take apart and change the light color for fun and give it to me. That's dope. That's a weird decision. Alright, so I have one cobblestone piece. I'll put that in the box it came in because that's how I roll. Alrighty. Okay. So we have the base. We have the base of courtyard. And we're going to go up. And this is the part where it's going to get tricky, and I'm probably going to lose my mind. Just a wee bit. Because I'm going to want this thing to be solid all the way around. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. That's why we try things. All right. Oh, there's even single ones. Oh, that's the tits. Okay. So the plan. We're going to mix all of this together and fill out the rest of the keyboard. I don't think it's enough pieces. Don't think it's enough pieces. Son of a biscuit. But you know, we also have the. Maybe I should start at one side so that if I run out, I can just fill the rest in with carpet pieces. I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Let's see if we can make it happen. Okay, got our rust. Now, because I'm usually a very symmetrical person. I like things that have symmetry, aka this is all symmetrical. But now I have to think asymmetrically, and that's going to make my brain hurt. Okay. And also I have some of these signs. Some of these signs are not, I don't know, they're not square. They're actually like that. Well, they are square, but they're supposed to sit like that. So I have these extra pieces, which are going to make it easier for it to sit like that. But that also means I'm going to need more rust pieces around those to cover up the area that doesn't get covered. Boy. I also have a kangaroo crossing, which makes no sense, but I thought it was funny. And dead end. That, I think, I'm going to put at the end of the road, because it's funny. Okay. My brain already hurts. How do you think my brain feels? I'm already thinking that's too much space between signs. Yeah, I think I need at least 2 packs of rust. Think about it like this. The blocks are like Tetris. But the problem is the blocks won't disappear. And there's a never-ending supply of blocks in Tetris. Oh yeah, that's a great thing about Tetris. And when you notice it happening, it's kind of crazy. Or like, as you're packing things or moving things, you're just like, why am I suddenly so good at this? You're like, oh yeah. Oh, Beer George. For the mental vacation. And we're going with Funhouse. Your keyboard's in a courtyard that borders a scrapyard. Now you're getting it, Felix. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy another pack of rust. It's the only solution. I thought your hat said Marlboro. I'm sponsored by Big Tobacco. I figured this was a great time to mention it. Yeah, there's no way. I need another pack of rust. At least one pack at least. Well, move forward. That is all we can. Morning, Beer George. I didn't say good morning to you. I felt bad. I just realized that. Good morning. Thank you for the hat change. Need something with a little more tar. Oh. No, we don't want to do that yet. Yeah, I haven't done any of these. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm Sometimes you gotta go back. Sometimes you gotta go back. Watch out, found dog. Sent out for Peru crossing. It's dope. Damn it, that makes me think. Oh boy. I don't know if you can see it. Wow, the rust looks very weird on this camera. I don't know if you can see it, but because of the kangaroo crossing, only one of the signs is raised, which is now making me think all the signs should be raised. Oh, why does my brain work like this? Ugh. Oh no. got some OCDs kicking in there. How did you know, Felix? Man. Oh, and in theory, these would be 2 each. So I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This could be flush with it because it looks like it just put a sign in. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 9, 30, 31, 32. I would need 32 single 1x1 circle pieces. And I don't have 32 1x1 circle pieces. Okay, well, the solution must be reached, and this will just be in there like that. Till further notice, everything will be flat. I've made my decision. I must move forward, or else I will think about it too long. There, little mouse trap. Ooh. Long pieces. Rust. Of us. I want to keep the money together because it's funny. I don't know if you'll ever be able to see that in great detail, but there's little tiny minifigure George Washington. Little tiny Abraham Lincoln and tiny Benjamin Franklin on these little money bricks. I do want to put Home Sweet Home. So there's inflation in the Lego world as well. No one is safe from the scourge of inflation. They didn't put the Lego equivalent on those money bricks? What do you mean? No, they're Lego minifigure. They're Lego minifigure versions of those presidents. They put out their Lego selves? I don't understand what you mean. Because they are... Like, they aren't, like, humanistic... They aren't human being shaped. They are minifigure shaped. Come on. Come on. Come on. I had it in focus. Their currency, brick bucks. Nothing like some brick bucks. I think it's just gonna not be enough, which is kind of a bummer and a half. We'll see what we can do. What do you think is the most overrated Disney movie? Frozen, hands down. I watched that movie drunk with my roommate, who was like, my roommate at the time, who was like, there's got to be something to this movie, right? There's got to be. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody loves it. And I'm like, if you want to rent it, man, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't think it has anything I'm interested in. And he rented it, and we watched it, and then we looked at each other, we're like, what the hell was like up with that? Like, what was the reason everybody loved that movie? Okay. So one thing, I don't know if this will show up. One of the things they sold, which brought me back to my my early Christian days, there's something called Chick Tracts. There's this company that made like these little cartoons to try and get people to believe in Jesus. Well, they made brick tracts, which looked exactly like those did. You can't read them because I can't get it to focus. We'll focus on the lines of my hands. But it's Who is CB for Citizen Brick, Digital Dilemma, and Lawful Neutral. They look really cool, and it's on their website now if you wanted to take a look at them. I cannot. Lego jabs. All about Lego jabs. Sorry. One of those things where it's like it might be just enough if I play it right, but I'm also nervous that I'm playing it wrong. Whoa, 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 whoa. Flung that baby. Okay. Oh yeah. One of my favorite Disney movies is Bolt and the Goofy movie. I've never seen Bolt. Goofy movie is rad. Goofy movie is one of the few. Like one of the really few Disney movies that like I look back on and go like, that was just the shit. The biscuit. Oh boy. Bolt needs more merchandise. They only have a couple things. Was Bolt... Wait, was Bolt the... Forgive my Bolt ignorance. Bolt was like... Was it a dog? I feel like I'm sounding like an old man. Was that their dog movie? There was a dog and he was fast or something? I don't know. This was a movie where he had superpower. Bolt was one about a dog who starred in a TV show and thought he was real, like the Truman Show, but a dog. And the dog was voiced by John Travolta. I guess I do have enough pieces. But now they are not distributed well. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. I'm doing some quick mental math. Figure out how I'm gonna make this work out. And I think I just did. And there it is. Every spot accounted for. Got the cobblestone into the rust, into all the signs and the flags and the whatnot. good. I got a little bit of rust and one cobblestone base. Alrighty. And this will be what it looks like until I get another random pack of tiles and then have to change the entire thing again. Because I'm never satisfied, never satisfied. I also had this child stardom is bad for kids message. That's probably why they buried it. That is probably why they buried that thing. Does this keyboard affect how fast you type? I mean, kinda. And also, it's also weird because I feel like these keys are slightly smaller than the keys I use on a keyboard for work. So I have to, like, trick my brain back into remembering, like, oh, this is a smaller keyboard. Smaller keyboard. I like it. I like what I did here. A little heavier on the right side, but that's fine. It's asymmetrical, that's fine. There's no reason to consider changing the entire thing. You will be fine. Let it go. Letting it go. I'm letting it go officially right now. So I might go down to 70 words a minute instead of 80. I mean, I don't know. Depends. Me, like, when I'm in a typing groove, I can destroy words per minute. But when it's, if I'm not in that groove, then somehow I, like, forget how keyboards work. Very annoying. That's one of the reasons I don't want to, because one thing I could do, which would be crazy, I could cover the entire thing in one pattern, including the keys, but I'm just worried about that one day where I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how keyboards work. Anyway, I am going to take a quick break. Quick break to use the restroom, and I will be right back. What's up? Hi, Hedrick. Hi, hello. Welcome to the stream. Well, it turns out one of these signs didn't make it to the pile. So now we have to look over here, and we need to ask ourselves where it can go. Sheet. Okay, so we got 1 2x2. I need a 2x2 space. I'll tell you my thinking. I'm telling you my thinking. So it's a 2x2. It's a 2x2, and it says found dog, right? The easy choice is right here, where I got 3 Russ next to each other. However, it's right by a beware of dog sign. But I think that's too much dog material. Ain't nothing but a found dog. It just says... Just says found dog. Has a little picture of a dog. And then tear off tags. Ain't nothing but a found dog. Gosh darn it, Felix, you snuck a pun underneath my nose. Next to Kangaroo Crossing, right there. Then that's 3 of them in a row. I mean, I have some of that going on in other places. Oh, I don't know. Only putting them on. That's a good point. That's a good point, Felix. The found dog is dangerous. You know what? I'm gonna do it. There we go. All the signs and most of the rust are now on the keyboard, and it is complete. And now we move on to actual Lego sets. But the first question we have: are we about family with the Fast and Furious Charger, or are we about fucking random chicks that might be our enemies, the 007 Aston Martin? Those are your choices. What do we want to build? Now, it looks like both are going to have stickers, which I'm just not going to put on. Because what the fuck, guys? 8 and up, and you're giving them stickers? Look at all once again, all of this. Printed on the brick. Every single one of those tiles printed on the brick. Burn the stickers. Which one do we want to do? This one was already built by my dad. I guess my dad picked this one up at a Target and already built it. And I was like, what? You got the Fast and Furious Charger, the small one? And he's like, yeah. I was like, what the heck? You don't even like Fast and Furious. He's like, it looked cool. So I can build this guy, or I can do the brand new build of this 007. Kind of got. Let's do Fast and Furious first. Let's do the Fast and Furious one, both Fast and Furious. And he put all of it in one bag. USOB. The one bagger. It's a one bagger, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like he's getting back at me for a one bagger I gave him. Alright. Let's see what you did there. Look, it's thick with 3 seats. And it had two bags. Okay. Crap, that is not gonna... I'm heavy on this bitch. Patrick, how are you, dude? If you're still here, of course. Thanks. How are you feeling? I loved Elvis. Oh no, my dad hates stickers too. He just doesn't do them either. He leaves them for me to do. That's good to hear, Hetrick. That's good to hear. I think everybody... It's true. It's true. Steve? 100%. He left pieces in here. That's just bad workmanship. Leaving pieces on pieces? Come on, dude. That's day one shit, Dad. Come on. Elvis is the king of rock and roll. I did watch that movie. About Elvis. I'll go that way. And my reaction was kind of like, okay. I'm glad a youngin' like you appreciates him. Oh. Up accidentally when trying to pick up the other piece. Yeah, I never got into Elvis. I feel like Elvis was like just before my dad's time. So he was listening to like 60s, well, like 70s rock and roll. Elvis is one of my favorites, but I'm always willing to listen to it. No way this is gonna work without me just holding the paper, which I can't do. Yes, we need that. How old is my dad? Let's see. 62? 62. The band I sent in the Discord, Thrice. Thrice is just one of my favorite bands of all time. If Thrice didn't put out that album that I sent, which was a re-recording, look, there's little mini Dom. Little mini Dom, all the personality of Vin Diesel right here in a Lego minifigure. Kirk. That smirk. Family. No. God. About family. Corona. I don't believe my dad was into Elvis, because he felt it was for older people. I think that was his. I don't know. We've never talked about Elvis too much. He just never seemed to really be into him. System of a Down, The Killers, and My Chemical Romance. My Chemical Romance was one of those things that, like, shockingly just went over my head. Like, I didn't realize how intense the My Chemical Romance love was. Because obviously the Black Parade came out, and it was like, holy shit, this band is on a rocket to the moon. Even though they were already, like, right there with the album before that. But yeah, I was just kind of like, cool. Alright. Solid. Every Elvis movie. He made a bunch, too. MCR when it was popular. I've gotten super nostalgic for the angsty teen movement, despite never being a part of it. Yeah, I was into Christian metal at the time, which is now laughable because all those bands are like, we're not even Christian, bro. That was to make money, man. Okay. Well, they all did it. I mean, and I don't want to talk shit on them too bad, but it seems like they all did it like 5 years after it mattered. We're not even a Christian band, man. Okay. We all have jobs now and kind of don't care. Learned about MCR through Harry Potter fanfic, My Immortal, where all the characters turn into 2000s goths. But it was like so far after that the news isn't shocking. You know what I mean? Like they had already made their albums where they started like acting like assholes, and they started getting their obligatory like criminal charges of some shit. It all leads back to My Immortal. All roads lead to My Immortal. Forget Rome. Nothing leads back there. Except tourists. Queen. That was a band my dad hated, and I like no idea why. I think he kind of gives off the same vibe about it that I do with was it Taking Back Sunday? Or Fall Out Boy? Where my like, it's just like, I don't think they're that good. Is that okay? Gotta go on a walk now. What are you doing? Why are you going outside? Stay inside with us. I'm just kidding. Go do some physical activity, Zach. I guess that's more important. More important to get out there, get the blood pumping. I'll just be here making my Legos like a nerd. So I'm building the Dominic Toretto Dodge Charger Fast and the Furious. And recently, because I wanted to laugh, I went back and watched the YouTube reaction videos to Fast 9, I think it was. Or F9, the Fast Saga. And boy howdy, is that some funny shit. Because in that trailer, a dude just catches a car. Entire car. A car is coming at him, he catches it. In the trailer. Dude catches a car. A vehicle. Not like a toy vehicle. Not like a model of a vehicle. Not like... not like a tiny vehicle. Straight up car. Dude catches it with his hands. And it's just like a what in the hell are you talking about? What in the Kentucky Fried Hell are you talking about? Wasn't the first movie about stolen DVD players? When did it turn into a live-action cartoon? I can explain it. Because we got time. And I own all of them except for Hobbs and Shaw, the Jason Statham Rock spinoff. Oh, I also don't own F9, The Fast Saga, because I really didn't like that movie. Oh man, I knew I wasn't gonna like it either. I knew I wasn't gonna like it just from the way Fate of the Furious went, which is Fast 8. If you didn't catch the clever titling, you see what happened. Come to think of it, are we still waiting for those reviews? I mean, I could do them. It's one of those things where I want to rewatch. I'd want to rewatch them before giving a review of every single one. And also, I kind of want the series to be over, so I don't have to, like, tag it with another one. You know what I mean? But oh man, Fast and the Furious, dude. It is a roller coaster of emotion. That shit. Piece. I need to find one piece. But I could explain the entire trajectory of Fast and the Furious. Because what happened was, basically they remade the movie Point Break, but with street racing instead of surfing. And they did that because street racing was kind of like taking off. This underground street racing culture was kind of like happening in downtown LA. And this guy wrote an article about it, and it kind of got attention, so they're like, let's make a movie where we just rip off Point Break, and we do it with street racing. And the big crime, because at the time, like... it's right there, guys. DVD players were the height of technology. Essentially... it was about, you know, a guy undercover. He thinks the bad guys are this one group because they're kind of assholes. Turns out it's not that. It's the group he's ingratiated himself with. But he doesn't feel like they're bad guys. Except the turn that Point Break made is... it literally turns into a point where you realize, like, no, the villain is a horrible, shitty person. Like, you have that point in Point Break. Fast and Furious, they don't do that. They have the main character who is a cop undercover giving up his... where's this fucking piece, man? I have to organize every single one of these pieces to find this thing. Seems like something I would have found already. But the undercover cop decides to let the criminals go. And then the second movie was like just trying to scam sequel money off of that first movie's premise. But the guy who really stole the show, Vin Diesel, is not going to be in it because he didn't do sequels at that time. He was too good for sequels. So he's like, I'm not going to be there. So it was Paul Walker and Tyrese, and it was a terrible, shitty sequel. And then they're like, okay, well, let's Halloween 3 Season of the Witch this thing, and we'll make Fast and Furious a brand, but it could be about racers anywhere. And they made Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which, almost by objective fact, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is like the best straight up Fast and Furious story, where from beginning to end, I'm back, my phone died. Well, I'm going through Fast and Furious, so maybe you're gonna wish that your phone stayed dead. But Tokyo Drift is, without a doubt, the first complete story that adds up, makes sense, flows right, decent characters, decent everything. But at the end of Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, put in a scene with Dominic Toretto from the first movie. And they noticed that people were responding to Han, the mentor in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. But Han dies in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. It's a part of the story. It's kind of necessary for the story. In fact, him dying is actually kind of a great moment in the story for the main character and for everybody. But they now have a problem, which is people really want the two characters back on screen. One of them is dead in the continuity of the story, and that would be Han. They instead come up with this plan, get both of them together, but say oh, down the road he goes to Tokyo and starts living his life. Down the road, it happens later. And they keep pushing it back so far that the technology in Tokyo Drift doesn't match where we are as a society. Over here. But they kept pushing it back because everybody loves Han, and everybody loves Dominic Toretto being back, and they love Paul Walker being back. And they make Fast and the Furious 4, which is called Fast and Furious. So if you're still paying attention, I doubt you are, because I'm literally building Legos and talking about the Fast and Furious series. But they make Fast and Furious, which is Fast and Furious 4, which is very confusing if you're cataloging the movies. And Fast and Furious, why the hell they make it Fast and Furious? Oh, because I'll tell you why. They wanted to rebrand. You could tell with watching the fourth Fast and Furious. They wanted to rebrand Fast and the Furious as a very serious crime drama. Sure, there's gonna be intense driving action, but this is a serious look at crime and the drug trade and loyalty and family. And at the end, Dominic Toretto turns himself in. And that's also the movie where the whole plot is that Letty, Dominic's boo, his squeeze, dies working for some drug dealers. So, just so we're clear, Han is dead eventually, and Letty is dead right now. They realize, oh shit, that serious route, it made a bunch of money, but, people were kind of not digging it. And I think this is when Justin Lin shows up, I think. And I believe Justin Lin kind of looks at what they have and goes, guys, why don't we just make it the most fun movie possible? And we bring back everybody. We bring back Tyrese. We bring back Luda.
That'd be ludicrous, Chris Bridges. We bring back every character that we possibly can, and we just make it fun. We'll include Han, because he's not dead yet. He's going to be dead in like 8 years from now, even though that takes place several years ago. We'll just bring back everybody and we'll make it a fun romp. And Fast 5 arguably is the most entertaining movie to watch. Fast 5 is when they figured out the formula of, like, throw out physics, throw out, like, anything that makes any sense, and just go for it 120 miles an hour and make some crazy shit. And at this point, they're like, well, we have to up the ante. They're not just, like, small-time criminals. They're going to do a heist. So the heist has to be, like, spectacle. And this is in 5. So this heist has to be pure spectacle, off the wall, absolutely bonkers bananas. And... and it, sorry, got distracted by the build. It has to be absolutely bonkers bananas, and it's going to include The Rock. It's going to include probably some of the best choreographed action scenes that, you know, kind of that play it fast and loose with what's possible. But it's still going to be a scene that's like semi-grounded in actuality, even though it's what they pull off is basically impossible. And then every movie after that has been trying to beat that. But to do that, to top and beat Fast 5 every time, the stakes have to get higher. All the characters have to be experts at everything they're doing. Unfortunately, it is literally written in scripts, or in, not just scripts, but actors' contracts. It's specifically written that they can't lose fights. So if you happen, just notice that my fucking green screen is shitty. God damn. If you just so happen to watch Fast 5, you will notice that there is a fight between Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Vin Diesel. In that fight, it comes to a draw. And the reason it comes to a draw is because both men have it in their contracts. And it's making my headphones invisible. God, I hate technology sometimes. Hitting. Nope, made it worse. I think it made it look worse for the Legos, but at this point, I've never seen the movie, so this is a great nutshell for me. If you ever see Fast 5, the fight between Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Vin Diesel comes to a draw because they both have it in their contract that they can't lose a fight. And instead of one going like, okay, I'll lose this fight, maybe you lose the second one, or how about we go about it this way? How about we come to a compromise? They said, nope, we'll draw. So we never lose a fight. And that's just absurd. And you have all these other characters that they have this thing to protect where they're like, well, it's almost established that they never get hit by anything. And it is brought up in F9, the Fast Saga, where one of the characters just is like, you notice that we never get hurt? Like, we've been shot at by every gun known to mankind. Like, because they have to up the ante, they've been shot at by, like, submarines. They have to go absolutely insane every time, or else it won't work. And when one of them brings it up, they're like, man, you're just crazy. And it's like, no, he's not crazy. What he's talking about is accurate. You guys are basically immortal. And you all just kind of laugh it off when really it's like, by this point, more of you should have died. And conveniently, every character I mentioned that has died, Han, who eventually they catch up in the timeline, apparently he never died. It was all a trick. And Letty never died. That was a lie. The only person that has died and has stayed dead so far is Giselle. Giselle? Oh, and I gotta talk about that too. There's so much stupid shit about this movie. Or this movie series. They can't lose fights as fictional characters. God, those Hollywood egos. Nope, they can't lose a fight. They can't be seen on screen losing a fight. So, one aspect of Fast and the Furious that has been a sticking point for me, just as a human being, like a human being that lives in the world. So, Vin Diesel was once with Michelle Rodriguez's character, Letty, right? They were together. They were a couple. Then in Fast 5, Dominic Toretto starts a relationship with a woman who lost her husband, who was a cop. So she became a cop to honor his memory. He starts like dating this woman, and I can't even remember her name. She barely has agency. She's like portrayed as a badass, but when you look at all the things she actually does, it's not much. So he kind of starts a relationship with this woman, and they be boning, they be together, they be all up on each other. Then, as a hook to get people to come back to the theater, they said, hey, guess what? Letty, she's alive. And they show it to Dom, and Dom tells this woman who he lives with, who he's been banging, who they're in a committed relationship, hey, like, Letty was like my main girl, and I thought she was dead. And this woman goes, hey, if I knew my husband was still alive, I'd go to him. You have my permission. Go avenge her and, you know, do your shit. So he does. And I'm like, okay, I see why you had to like skate over that. You had to be like, okay, guys, we made a mistake. We never should have gave him another love interest if Michelle Rodriguez was going to come back. Okay, whatever. So that happens. 2 movies later, they start talking about having kids. Letty and Dom. And these are, by the way, these are big spoilers for the series. Like you, imagining you give a shit, but Letty and Dom start talking about having kids, and Letty's like, I don't know if I'd be a good mother. I don't know if it's a good idea to bring a kid into this life, which, spoiler alert, it fucking isn't. You guys are essentially, like, doing superhero shit, but you're not supposed to be immortal, even though you basically are. You should not bring a child into the mix. If I ever watch these, it'll be for the romantic, yeah. So, then Dominic Toretto gets blackmailed by Charlize Theron's character, Cypher, gets blackmailed. And we don't know what the blackmail is. She just shows him something, and then suddenly he has become her bitch. And he's portrayed as like this unstoppable, unbeatable genius and strong man. So it's like, oh my god, how are we going to beat Dom? Even though we come together all the time to act as a team, we can't as a team defeat Dom. What are we gonna do? It turns out the blackmail Cypher has over Dominic is that Dominic's squeeze from Brazil, that cop, that lady cop, turns out she had a child. Dominic's child. And they show them together, and she says, now this child is, I want to say, maybe a year old. I don't know. I'm not great with guessing the ages of kids. I'm not good at that, so I just don't even try. It's not my style. But fun. Just see right now, this calls for a sticker on a plain white piece. The only plain white piece I see doesn't have a sticker on it, but there's no stickers in the box. What are we doing here? I'm gonna have to text him. Reading a Reddit thread about how extremely hateable villains and somehow mentioned Cypher. I do love. Well, Cypher is not. I don't know. I don't find her hateable because her motivations are not clear. She's very much I'm a hacker that can hack into anything, but the hackers on the good guy team can hack into anything too. A lot of hacking that is just people at computers saying they're hacking shit, which is, I'm sure, great for people who know how to hack, who I'm sure aren't belittled and annoyed by that type of talk. But yeah, her entire goal, I'm not even 100% sure of. But she's hateable because, like, she's just annoying. And she, like... Every part of Fast and the Furious is, like, fake heightening and fake family drama that gets added on top of each other so you stay invested. But it seems like, oh, you'll stay invested if, like, you don't think about things too hard. Like, Fast and the Furious is a very compelling story if you don't think about it too closely. Did the stickers come pre-burnt? I don't know. I'm wondering if my dad screwed up one of the stickers and just said fuck it and threw it away. It's very possible. I wouldn't put it past him. But, he did put stickers on other parts of this set, so I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, the thing that is absolutely bonkers bananas is this villain shows him this woman and says, like, hey, I have your main squeeze and your baby. And the main squeeze says to Dom, I have been calling the baby something. It was something in Spanish. But that's just a nickname. I haven't named the baby because it's disrespectful to you. Just so we're clear, it's disrespectful to name the baby that you had by yourself without the man's knowledge, never contacted him about so it wouldn't screw up his life with a new boo that you said was totally cool. But you never named him because that was disrespectful to him. With all due respect, fuck him. You raised the child. That is, your child. It was his child only when he found out about it. Why wouldn't you name the child? That makes no sense. It made me really angry. I felt rude and bullshit. Oh, I never named him because it seemed disrespectful. No, that's stupid. That's a big old plate of stupid pie. I don't know I can't remember what she called the child, but I remember she said, oh, it felt disrespectful to give him a name. So I've been calling him this, and I was waiting for you to name him, and I was like, you had no guarantee he would ever call you. He was out with his old boo that he liked more than you. Why the fuck do you have this reverence for this asshole when you said, you know, if it was my husband, I'd go looking too, and then he left and never fucking talked to you? And then another fucking bonkers ass thing about Fast and Furious, and it's gonna start like I'm gonna be disrespectful about the dead, but I'm not. One of the main characters, Brian O'Connor, played by the now deceased Paul Walker. Paul Walker died in the middle of shooting Fast and Furious 7. Like, from what I understand, the dead middle of it. So they had to rewrite the story and do a bunch of stand-in stuff with Paul Walker's brother. And they had to make an effort to make it all work. And what they came up with was a serviceable movie. It's a triumph. It's a triumph that it works out, and it's a triumph that it's also a touching tribute to a person that gave a lot to this series who is now gone, right? But they made the decision, which I thought was a decent decision. They made the decision to not kill off his character, but instead make it seem like he's leaving all this craziness to start a family. But we'll catch up with him later. The implication being, you know, we're never going to, because the character, or the guy who's playing the character, is dead. As they get to this point with this child that hasn't been named, they have this moment in the movie where they have all the characters together, and they go, well, what are you gonna name this child that belonged to this woman who never named it because it seemed disrespectful? I'm gonna name it Brian, for Brian O'Connor. They're like, wow, what a tribute. What a touching tribute to someone who's still alive, who they could still call on the phone, according to the reality of the movies. Brian O'Connor did not die. Paul Walker died. If you wanted to make it a tribute, you'd say, you know what, I've been thinking about a name, Paul, and then everybody would cry, and it would make sense. By naming him Brian, you go, oh, my buddy who I still talk to, I'm going to name him after him, who I can talk to on the phone right now. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to name him Han or any of the other characters that have died in this series that are canonically dead at this point. No, I'm going to name him Brian, the dude who's 100% still alive. It was crazy. I would have thought, if you were going to kill off just one character in your multimedia franchise, it should probably be the one whose actor died. 100%. And they do this thing, Felix, in every movie that actually really annoys me. Well, a lot of things really annoy me, clearly. But they do this one thing that really, really annoys me. Where every movie they have to come out and say, well, we can't ask Brian, you know, he's out of the life. They have to constantly remind us that Brian is still alive, but he's not going to be in this movie. Yet, they will still use Brian's wife. They will still occasionally, like, put in a cameo of Brian's car, like, oh, he's still out there driving around. And it's like, no, he fucking isn't. And if you have the balls to recast him, which would be shocking, you're also, like, proving that you have no stakes to your movies at all. All the characters who have canonically died have come back. All your characters who have canonically died just come back out of convenience, and then people who you have nothing but an excuse to let die. And that's what they did. They do it in Fast and Furious. They do it in Fast and Furious 7 like 100 times, where they put Paul Walker's character in a situation where you're like, oh my god, he's gonna die. He's gonna die right now. They're gonna kill him off like this. And then he survives, and you're like, okay, cool. Well, I guess we'll get him on the next one, because a character has to die in this series if the actor's not around. And then they're like, nope, not gonna do it. It's, you know, it's one of those franchises that will kill again because it makes so much money. It's not like they're gonna stop. Fast and the Furious. You can talk about it for hours. Don't understand. And now I guess The Rock isn't going to come back to it. So after they make their final film, I think that's it. I think that's it for the franchise, really. Back of the vehicle there. Cool. I don't know if we're going to get to the other one today. Fine, we can save that for another time. Too busy talking. Well, here's what I'll say that I don't think anybody can disagree with. They're wildly entertaining. And they are a fantastic, an absolutely fantastic turn off your brain and enjoy the movie. It's fantastic at that. It does that very, very, very well. However, after Paul Walker's death, and after there's a clear Vin Diesel stranglehold on that series story and arc, like, it's clear that the people who make it think they're making art. So that's practically is all the movies in a nutshell. I mean, I haven't even gotten into Fast 9, which is about the fact that Dominic had a long-lost brother that was never mentioned in 8 previous fucking movies, who is whiter than hell, and it's... I think Fast 9... Fast 9, the Fast Saga, was probably my least favorite Fast and the Furious, and I truly, truly think that Too Fast, Too Furious is like a horrible movie. Oh, man. I think they're worth one watch. I do. I think it's a very fun series to like throw on just to see what it's all about and see how it goes. But I am also the first to tell you, like, do not expect high art. Don't expect like something you're gonna want to sit down and really want to dig into with a spoon. It's popcorn movie filler at its finest. Which, you know, sometimes you want. Can't fault anybody for that. I will say, because it is owned by Universal, that people are... Because the big joke, and this is another big spoiler, which I don't think you will I think will be kind of the final nail in the coffin where you'll say, I'm not watching that piece of shit. There was a joke, because, like I said, everything's upping the ante. Like, at one point, they run towards a submarine on ice. They're, like, driving cars on ice to get to a submarine and firing shit at it, and shit's being fired at them. They drag a safe through a city with 2 cars, so they're using the safe to, like, hit other cars and do kind of crazy trick shit. They in the very last movie, F9, the Fast Saga, they use high-powered magnets to drag cars, to pull cars into other cars, and to shoot cars away. You know, implying that there's absolutely no metal on them or in the vehicle. Don't know if they thought about that at all. But the thing, because they keep upping the ante and they have to go above and beyond every time. There was always this rumor. The one thing I remember from the 9th movie, damn, they got a magnet blade. The one of the things they kept joking about was, okay, well, what are they going to do next? They're going to take a car to space. And everybody was like, well, come on, that's a joke. Come on. You're not going to take a car to space. How do you take a car to space? Doesn't even make any sense. How do you take a car to space? Well, in the 9th Fast and Furious movie, they took a fucking car to space, right? And even watching it, I watched it in a theater. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Guys, why would you take a car to space? They literally, and it's not just like, I'm not fucking around. They took a goddamn car to space. And that was kind of like the moment where it's like, well, anything goes now. There are no rules. They can just do whatever the fuck they want. And they took a goddamn car to space. But, and this is a big but, that was a joke. That was a joke. People were saying that as a joke. And then the writers were like, fuck it, let's do it. Now what people are saying as a joke, and some people saying as a legitimate idea for a film, they're saying, you know what they should do? They should have a movie where they travel in time and go back to dinosaurs. And then you mix it with Back to the Future. Or you mix it with the current goings-on of the Jurassic Park franchise. And to that I say, take your sleepy pills and go to sleep. Because that's stupid talk. Jurassic World, I don't care. Jurassic World, I don't care what you do. Like, Jurassic World, I really didn't like the first one, and then every decision I heard about the sequels, I was like, not for me anymore. I don't care about it. Let them do whatever they want. I'm not gonna watch them. But the idea of mixing Back to the Future they're like, yeah, we'll mix it with Doc Brown, Back to the Future. The idea of doing that is so stupid and will never be signed on by the dudes who created Back to the Future. If they somehow tricked them into doing it, and they somehow did it, I would say, like, end Universal as a studios. Like, Disney needs to buy it. We need to just accept the fact that Disney owns all entertainment. Because you're stupid. maybe they'll actually, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Like, every couple of years, there's always this talk in Hollywood. They're like, oh, these people want to redo Back to the Future. And every time, the people who own Back to the Future go, no. Back to the Future is just fine where it is. And everyone's like, oh man, but like we could do it like, you know, like for a new generation. And they're like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't give a shit. No. Answer's no. Back to the Future has not been tainted yet. They did that one video game. I heard it was pretty dope, and it was written by Bob Gale, so it kind of is okay. But leave it alone. Just leave some things alone. Please. If you're going to leave something alone, leave Back to the Future alone. It's perfectly good where it is. It doesn't need to be remade. It doesn't need to be sequelized. It doesn't need anybody touching it. What it needs is everybody to leave it fucking alone. Cast me as Marty McFly? Come on, I can't play a teenager. I wouldn't want to do it. I have too much integrity. I wouldn't even accept it. Sad fact is, the sad fact is, I think that doesn't count. That doesn't count. They made a terrible NES game for everything at that time. I know this is supposed to be the NOS canister, but it kind of just looks like ketchup. I got emergency ketchup in my car. Had I known it would have taken this long, I would have done the 007 one. So I can do this charger when I get Brian O'Connor's Nissan Skyline. Every movie video game was bad. Yeah, exactly. This has a piece that I have literally never seen before. I've seen a lot of Lego. Clear, and now I can't find it. I guess that was from the... I know I'm not the only person decrying this, but I do think that this push to make everything a universe is a terrible idea. Like, the comic book IP makes sense to me. Like, well, they all were these universes. It makes sense. But, like, the idea, like, oh, we're gonna make a universe out of this just cause, like, you gotta work a different perspective to get that done, I think. But once again, I don't make anything. I don't know. So did they even try to justify the car in space, or did everyone just assume that Vin Diesel could bring it? Vin Diesel didn't even go to space. So the conceit of why they had to go to space. In the movie, they have to prevent someone from uploading a doomsday hacking device that'll basically control every computer on the planet, which has been basically the plot for every movie for the past like 2.5 movies, because they're like, everything has to be world-ending possibility, and we've already hit it several times. Where is this fucking piece? I saw it earlier. Where did it go? And this device, it sorry. Ready? Have the little center console thing. The device. Put it. It has to be hacked from a certain proximity, and it has to be hacked at the satellite level, which, as you now know, is space. So they then are like, oh, well, I guess we're going to have to get to space. And they figure out... Oh, man, this is another bullshit thing about this series. So Tokyo Drift has been, like, separated from the rest of these movies because it kills off Han. It has this character that has nothing to do with the rest of the team. So, or these characters that have nothing to do with the rest of the team everybody loves. So they were just kind of like backburnered. And then when they had Fast and Furious 7, where they were going to merge all the stories, they were going to finally kill off Han in story, and they were going to have Vin Diesel talk to this character from Tokyo Drift. And then it was like, okay, well, I guess we'll just leave those characters. We don't ever need to talk to them again. But because they're idiots, they're like, well, what if the characters from Tokyo Drift, who only expressed interest in street racing and drift cars, what if we make them rocket scientists who are hanging out in an Eastern European country? Just cuz. Just cuz. Is there any logical reason why they're doing that? Nope. They just want to make rockets now. And they make rockets for the government of that country? No. In fact, they're basically like just making rockets outside of a facility that's making rockets for a country. They're just kind of, fucking around. And it's like, why? Oh, I don't know. And then there's going to be a bunch of jokes about them strapping a rocket to a Fiero. Why? Oh, I don't know. No idea. They're into rockets now. And then they're like, well, go to those guys to see how you get into space. And it wasn't a, hey, let's get them on a shuttle into space so that they can get to the satellite. It was always, let's put them in a car that will get attached to a shuttle that will then get off of the shuttle and rocket themselves into space, and then they'll actually make the pedals work like the pedals of a car. So when they hit the accelerator, the rocket boosters will fire, because why not? Why not? It's unbelievable, man. It's fucking unbelievable, that movie. And that's, oh my god, that's another great part of that. So these two characters, Tej and Roman, Ludacris and Tyrese, they are on a rocket car in space, and they're told, oh my gosh, we can't get into the satellite. And they're like, well, what can we do? It's like, well, we can destroy the satellite. can destroy the satellite by running into it. But if we do that, that wrong. No, I didn't. God damn it. But they do straight up say had that wrong. Okay. We're good. They straight up say if we run into this satellite, we won't have enough rocket boosters to make it back home. Which in theory means re-entering Earth's atmosphere in a car, which as far as I know would render them dead. So they look at each other and they're like, well, we got to do the right thing. Maybe this is how we die. And they run the car into the satellite. It stops the uplink. It helps our heroes. But these two characters, they're going out in space. But a couple scenes later, they're floating outside the International Space Station. And you're like, haha, the International Space Station is going to save them. And then the very next scene, they are at the barbecue with everybody else. Couple questions. How do two men in a fucking car in space get on the International Space Station and not get arrested and go, excuse me, what the fuck were you doing in space? And follow up, what the fuck were you doing in space in a car? How did you do that? Why did you do that? Who do you work for? Guess what? Your plans are being in this folding chair for the next 6 hours while we grill you. Because that doesn't make any fucking sense. The movie franchise I say is good is Percy Jackson, but the books are better. I've never enjoyed a Percy Jackson. I understand there's someone stealing lightning. My gosh, that was only bag one. Even though it should be easier because half the bricks are now gone. Say that. Find the next. Gosh darn brick. Yeah, what is Percy Jackson? I'm guessing that there's like a child hero. And it looked like he was dealing with gods of some kind. It sounds like... It is a cartoon. It's a bonkers-ass cartoon. Filled with absolutely crazy egos that don't accept the fact that, like doesn't accept the idea that someone could be like, you know that this isn't good, right? The type of ego... Yeah. The type of ego on Vin Diesel. Apparently, Nicolas Cage really wanted to be in those movies. Like, really wanted to be in a Fast and Furious movie as a villain. And had essentially gotten swerved upon because I believe they were like, well, that means we're not taking this seriously. And it's like, have you taken a look in the mirror, Fast and the Furious? You are a clown show. Add more clowns. Like, why fucking not? Like, and there actually was an opening that I thought was happening. I thought there was an opening happening in the Rock and Jason Statham movies, but alas, not happening. I'm actually curious, like, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, like, what's the much shorter pitch about that? Because I don't know anything about it. I just know that it was semi-popular book series, ? And people were digging on it, and then I also heard that people weren't digging on it. And I 100% believe you. There's a thief, and he steals lightning. Well, I know that's part of it. Oh, that's part of it. Lightning larceny, if you will. But a kid who finds out he's the son of a Greek god, if I remember correctly. Oh. Kind of like a Hercules story. That the kid is not, super jacked. The song that's playing now is a little less church and a little more lounge. Speaking of movie adaptations, stickers. They aren't. Speaking of adaptations, apparently someone leaked that the folks who want to make the BioShock movie were pursuing Keanu Reeves as the main character of Jack, and I don't want to sound like a fan that's too hard to please, but I don't like it. I don't like that at all. I don't like that one bit. Sure, I'm sure it'd be fine if it was Jack. I don't think. Who am I thinking for Jack? I don't know the guy's name, but it's the dude that plays is it Reacher? I have the power of literally show you. Oh my gosh. Alan Richardson. And I will tell you why. Okay, I want to find pictures that don't just look like male porn. I think... No, I don't think it should be Chris Pine. No way. I don't think it should be Chris Pine. I think it should be this guy. This guy. And I think that for two reasons. This guy is buff as hell, but if you put a sweater on him, you don't notice it. If you need a character that is super duper buff, but hides it under a really thick sweater, well, that guy could do that. Also, this guy isn't so well known that people will be distracted by who it is. The reason the first BioShock game works so well is you put yourself in the shoes of the character. The beginning of BioShock, this character crash lands next to a lighthouse and starts seeing all this crazy shit. Yeah, this would be exactly the kind of dude you need. The guy you get for the starring role that like gets all the attention, that's Andrew Ryan. Because you can have him on video, you can cut to him in the movie. That's who you get the big name for. I don't think it's a good idea. Oh wow, I just realized I cut my own video feed off. That's the kind of guy you get. You get a guy who's not super well known, but has leading man looks. Not super well known, has leading man looks. And then, yeah, that's it. That's who you get. You get that guy. Because if you think about it, in BioShock, like, your character doesn't even speak that much. But yeah, my thinking is, and I understand, like, in movie making, you have to get a star, you have to get star power if you want your movie to do well. Like, that's part of the economics. But dude, like, Jack should be a relatively not super well-known guy, so that nobody puts their opinions of that actor from other things onto him, right? Because Jack needs to be a blank slate. That's what a good protagonist is, a blank slate for the audience to put themselves on. I understand the temptation to do Keanu Reeves, because no offense to Keanu Reeves, he's kind of the perfect person to do that with. Who am I thinking for Andrew Ryan? That I kind of think. My first thought, which I then immediately went against myself, would be Robert Downey Jr. And it would be like a Robert Downey Jr., but you'd have to like sit him down and say, by the way, dude, like, this guy isn't... this guy isn't a fast-talking... Well, he can be fast-talking. This guy isn't a charming guy like Tony Stark. Andrew Ryan is a very smart, but very... by the time the BioShock game, a very vindictive, paranoid, angry, insane, power-mad individual. And I feel like he's already kind of done the... Darn it. Why is this so wrong? That's what I was thinking for Andrew Ryan. That's who you spend the big money. That's who you spend the big money on. You get that high-level profile for Andrew Ryan. And who I'm thinking for Frank Fontaine / spoiler alert, Frank Fontaine / spoiler alert, Atlas, Alan Tudyk. Because that dude is great with voices. Sorry, I got interrupted. Who'd you thought for Ryan again? Robert Downey Jr. But you'd have to have that conversation with him that's like, hey man, this guy is not just a charming, funny, everybody likes this guy. This is at the very end of his career. He's a diabolical, angry, paranoid, losing it figure. And that's what you gotta play him as. How many pieces are in this set? Give me one quick second here. Gonna... It's a pretty cool set. I mean, it's also... This is kind of one of those quick little sets for, they say 8 years old and up. You can be any age to enjoy Lego. Let me put on these final pieces, and then I will tell you, because I just want to make sure I don't forget to do this. Ooh, Alan Tudyk, I can see that. But that's the thing. Alan Tudyk, because Atlas is mostly voice, right? And Fontaine is mostly voice until the very, very, very end. All over the age of 8. 345 pieces. Oh, wrong way. 345. And then that's the part number, or the set number, 769112 or 1. But you have to, I think you have to make Atlas the same guy as Frank Fontaine. And you have to make it someone who can do those two different voices, and I think Alan Tudyk can. And honestly, if you go by the game standards, you don't even see Frank Fontaine until he's a giant atom monster. If you were to do like a physical, if you were to do like the physical embodiment of him, like we've already seen with Colin Farrell as the Penguin, like you can make somebody look like anything. And I think Alan Tudyk voice chops with a good makeup team, he could kill it. Could absolutely kill it. And hear me out. This seems like it's going to come out of left field. I think you get professional wrestlers and maybe professional athletes to play the big daddies. Because then you do some cross promotion with some people that probably would never give BioShock a second. But it's like, wait a second. They got my favorite wrestler to be one of these big hulking monsters in this movie. I'll check it out. And they'll probably have fun as hell. They'll probably have fun as hell. That's a dumb thing I just said. Lizzie! Hello, and welcome to a different version of Block Blood. Building a car out of Legos. Because honestly, like, my... Because, I mean, I think it's not too far a statement to say that I'm a little obsessed with BioShock. And straight up, when I was thinking about BioShock being a movie series and maybe like a movie cinematic universe, because we don't have franchises anymore, my honest thought was like, tired, I just woke up. Well, I'm glad you woke up and chose to hang out with us a little while, Lizzie. I appreciate it. Just like I appreciate anybody who comes by even for a second. Thank you so much. But when I was thinking about those BioShock movies, maybe series or whatnot, I was like, how rad would it be if you got to BioShock Infinite and some people's favorite wrestler was a handyman? Like, if you remember in BioShock Infinite, like, it has those moments where they introduce the handyman and they zoom in on him, and it's like this tragic, like, figure in torturous pain, but he's in this giant metal, like, imposing figure. And I was thinking about a specific wrestler who used to be in my favorite band of all time, but that band has disbanded. A gentleman named Andy Williams, because Andy has just a fucking delicious bushy mustache. Like, it's absolutely fantastic. And I imagine his face, but like they balled up, or they put a bald cap on him, his face on a handyman from BioShock Infinite, and he's just like the lights and everything's in some sort of agony. I was like, that would be a fucking home run. And then AEW wrestling, like, they would fucking mention, like, oh my gosh, Andy's gonna be in this movie. It was awesome. But alas, I don't control the future of possible movies of my favorite IP. Sorry, filled with the spirit, making me dance. It's ever the case. Well, the thing about, I mean, because that's the truth of the business. Like, fans have great ideas, but ideas don't make the thing. You know what I mean? That's why everything I say, I always include the grain of salt. Like, I don't know how hard it is to do this shit. You can't just call up Alan Tudyk, Robert Downey Jr., who else did I say? You can't call up these people and be like, yo, be in the BioShock movie, it'll be the tits. Like, there's money, scheduling, time, production costs, like, all this shit that's involved that I don't even know and I have no concept of. What's a good book series for me to read, because I just finished reading Percy Jackson? I don't know about series. I embarrassingly don't read enough. I'm not a good person to ask. Too busy watching movies and building stupid Lego sets. Genshin Impact. That is an awesome. I have not heard... Oh, I've never played that game for sure. But I have not heard much about that game. Is that based on, like, a IP? It seems like it would be. Just because the title, I feel like, doesn't tell me anything about what it is. No, it isn't? Oh. Squirrel, do you have a Wattpad? Oh, we already have those on the end. Fan fictions. Oh, Felix, did I tell you that I did attempt to read one of those fan fictions and record it? I remember we were talking about possibly doing a video series where I read really terrible fan fiction and try to get through it. Is it all free, Lizzie? This Wattpad you speak of? Also, Wattpad like does sound vaguely inappropriate. I'm sure it's fine, and I'm sure it means something, but I couldn't make it into fan fiction without. Yeah, the fan fiction that Felix had me read was like about Garfield and how tons of women wanted to bang Garfield. It was it was a doozy. I'll just put it at that. Or I'll leave it at that. It was a doozy. They said then he died in my arm. I'd be bowling. Fiction is a very interesting thing. Because I can't take anything seriously. Well, fan fiction, I think, is an interesting thing because it's like, because it gets kind of this negative rap, you know, it's this bad rap for being like a bunch of nerds who just want to highlight like their favorite characters or want to have their characters boned, so they got to write this story. But like, fan fiction at its truest definition, like, this might offend some people. Like anything not made by the original creator, but using somebody else's IP is technically fan fiction. Like every Planet of the Apes movie made after the first one is technically fan fiction. Every Fast and the Furious movie made after the first one, technically fan fiction, because it's based off characters somebody else made. How successful they are is kind of irrelevant. Remember, there was a anti-bullying assembly at school, and I was trying so hard not to laugh because they were so dramatic. It is weird because, like, when I was growing up, like, most of my male-to-male friendships were just completely based on light bullying. It's not considered bullying because you're, like, not really harassing each other, but, you know, Put that guy in there. So there's a bar behind him, I guess. If you bully people, Satan will get your soul. I'm not lying. My principal said that. Oh boy. You went to a religious school? I went to a religious college, which is awkward. I went to a public school. Trying to figure out exactly where this shit goes. What made it worse was my friend raised their hand and said if we didn't believe it. What if we didn't believe in Satan? A valid question, teacher. What if we don't believe in Satan? It is really funny, because I grew up going to church a whole bunch. It is really funny to look back on that time and remember some of the answers I got that were just flat out, like, disrespectful of, like basic logic. My friend got detention for a week. But yeah, the college I went to, you had to go to mandatory chapels. There were 5 different kinds of chapel every week, and you had to go to 3 of them to meet your chapel requirement. And if it just so happens that you didn't, you then got an absence. And if you got, I believe it was 9 absences, you got a warning. And then if you got 10 absences, I think they literally sent like a fee or like a fucking bill. Keep in mind that we are paying to go to this university as is. And then, oh no, it was after 2 more absences, you then had to like write, you had to do an assignment. You had to like write some BS. I got transferred out of that school after what the principal said. Fucking good, dude. That piece. Where is that piece? Oh, there it is. Almost there. I can feel it. One of my favorite things about goodness gracious. Yeah. I just loved how at my school if you couldn't make it to chapel, because, you know, I don't know, you're like going to classes and trying to become a adult with a goddamn degree. You couldn't make it to chapel, they were then like, okay, well, you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to write an essay about, you know, God. And it's like, excuse me? Is this not a fucking university? Yeah, I mean, life's too short to take things too seriously. Coming together, it's certainly looking like a car. But I also love the... So distracted, obviously. I just love the fact, like, oh, you missed chapel? Okay, well, you know, you're gonna have to give us money. For fucking what? Well, we have to keep chapel running. It's like, well, I have crazy pitch. We get rid of chapel. We get rid of chapel, then you don't have to pay for fucking chapel. Sounds absolutely bananas, I know, but trust me, it'll work as an idea. And while you were in chapel, you weren't allowed to, like, do homework. They'd come by and take your shit. And if you had headphones in, they then would take away your card that you use to track your attendance. And I was like, you fuckers, guys. Like, you seriously? Whole lot of not paying attention. The horrors. My Switch is 100% charged all the time now. Good, Squirtle. I'm glad you're understanding the importance. Okay, alright. Never know when you need to play some good old Tetris. Exactly. Your priorities need to be, back stretches, Tetris, and then everything else, including food and sleep. I don't make the rules, man. Oh. And oh, is this? Wait, is this without a roof? Question. God damn. Fucking. There we go. Emergency ketchup, exactly. Yeah, you need ketchup in an emergency? It's right there in the car. And a whole lot of it too. A lot of these. Of these. Ugh. Tiny one that's going to be impossible to find. Doesn't even build that much. In a bit, I can always fix it. That. Okay. Go. Rebuild a roof. As we come towards the end of our building journey, thank you all. Kirk, how do you do T-spins in... I remember my brother used to have them. I don't do them on purpose. Occasionally I have done them just by accident. I know how to do them, but I find I get too worried about doing it right that I end up screwing up the rest of the game just to get a T-spin. So I could do it if it's like, hey, do a couple T-spins in this game to get an achievement. Like, I can set it up and... But... comes to... when it comes to doing them, like, in the middle of a Tetris 99 game, I don't even try and bother with it. I know guys who can set it up. I don't know them personally, but I know that guys can set up and knock down a very, very easy couple of lines. I mean, I literally Googled it. And once I Googled it, like, it makes sense. It's just kind of a... the word. It's just kind of a hard thing to set up. Okay, so that's one of those fun pieces. Yeah, you kind of have to... You have to set up a situation on the Tetris board where it looks like you have openings kind of... hard to describe. Where, like, you could only get through the openings on the Tetris, like, field, I guess, if you rotate the T block as it's going down. And I know that probably don't make a lot of sense. See, done wrong. Yeah, I literally just had to look it up on I had to just look it up on the internet and see an example of it for it to make sense to me. But then once it did, it clicks right away. But there is this sort of, like, at least with me, there was this sort of message of like, the hell? I figured it out eventually, but sorry, I have to figure why there's peace. For that, I'm calling it a day. Appreciate you hanging out, talking mostly about Fast and the Furious, which is fine. I definitely don't plan on talking about that as hard when I do the other Fast and Furious car, because, you know, I'm beating it to death. There's these racers. They are both fast and they're furious. Okay. And it's done. The Charger, ladies and gentlemen. A tinier version of it. Much tinier. Thank you for hanging out today. It was very cool. I hope to catch you on a different stream in the... I also hope this character can even fit in. Alright. Barely fits in the car. All right. Thank you, Squirtle. Thank you, Clip Clap and Past Tense and Lizzie and Patrick and anybody that came by for even a moment. I appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me to relax my brain with some Legos and talk movies. Tomorrow, we got a film called The Great Imposter. Looks like it might actually be a pretty good one. At least I hope it is. I hope to catch you there tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And then Wednesday, you know, I think I might play a little more Little Nightmares. It was kind of fun. I thought it would be way more scurry. It turns out to be just fine with me. So I hope to catch you then. Thank you so much. Have a good... The octopus one hurt my brain. It didn't. It did the same to me. So I'm hoping to not hurt any more brains. And it rolls. I'm hoping to not hurt any more brains with this this stream tomorrow. Have a good one. Enjoy yourself. Have a good Sunday. Peace. There we are.